I think that the wisdom of the world teaches us a lot of times that for a person's story to be important, it has to convey that you're successful, you're a winner, it's very polished, or it's really dramatic. And one of the workshops I got to attend spoke a lot to the understanding that everybody's story is important, even if it's not flashy or successful or you're always winning. In fact, that some of those are the most important stories are the ones in which are completely the opposite of that. And I kind of got to see that play out in another workshop that I can best describe as like Alcoholics Anonymous for ex-evangelicals. And just kind of each of us sharing a piece of our experience with each other and seeing how sharing those bits of our lives really touched each other, and recognizing that, okay, I don't even have to have an end to my story yet. I don't have to have an answer. I don't have to have a conclusion, but just that no matter how insignificant you think your story is, it is extremely important to share it with other people, because it might touch them in a way that you didn't know it could.
So my experience in Wild Goose Festival was pretty cool, but the conventional wisdom I kind of learned was that it's important to communicate with everybody, because I met some new people that I probably wouldn't have talked to if it wasn't like in that group setting. And like the small groups like helped me be myself and like talk to other people about themselves, and it was just cool to learn about everything about everyone else.
Thank you. We'll have that other group in a little while later in the meditation. I was preparing for confirmation with this year's group, and I was contemplating today's scripture and meditation. It's kind of all seemed to me to center around the same thing. So the topic for the week last week was conventional wisdom and spiritual wisdom. And I talked with our 6th and 7th graders about the unconventional wisdom of Jesus that challenged the conventional wisdom in the scriptures that he followed. So not just the conventional cultural wisdom of his time, but the conventional religious wisdom of his time that he challenged. And we still have that today. We have conventional cultural wisdom about winning and what success is, and then we have conventional religious wisdom. They both still kind of exist for us like they did for Jesus. In the Hebrew scripture, you can find conventional wisdom that says God is a God of judgment, of reward and punishment, of who's in and who's out. But you can also find unconventional wisdom that challenges these ideas. Look at the prophets who challenged the culture and religious norms of their time. Even today's scripture readings from Proverbs and Wisdom of Solomon hold some challenge for conventional thought in that they image the feminine aspect of God. Jesus chose to re-examine the holy writings of his religion. Remember that Second Testament didn't exist yet. He was talking about Hebrew scripture. He chose to re-examine his holy writings to place them alongside the truth about God that he came to share with humanity. He held them up to the light of an image of God of mercy rather than one of judgment, a God of boundless love rather than a God of conditions. And in the gospel reading, Jesus delivers some of this upside-down wisdom. In verse 31, Jesus teaches his followers that he would undergo great suffering, be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. Well, what kind of Messiah is this in conventional wisdom? Peter certainly didn't understand. He rebukes or shushes Jesus, or tries to, only to be called Satan, which I think is pretty harsh, but Jesus then explains that Peter is setting his mind on human things rather than divine things. Peter is stuck in conventional wisdom mode, looking for black and white answers from a victorious Messiah, a winner who knocks all the other people out of the way. And Jesus lets him know, and the rest of the crowd know, that the divine is not easy or even expected. In verses 34 through 36, Jesus tells the gathered crowd, If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves, take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will save it. For what will it profit them to gain the whole world and forfeit their life, their true life? Jesus doesn't offer his followers a way to live that fits in with their or our conventional religious wisdom. What he says to them is shocking. Most of the parables, most of the things he says are shocking and they're complex.